Greetings everyone, RetroIndieGamer here, and welcome to a retro review. Today we're going to be looking at the NES BurgerTime, which is probably one of the best versions of this game that I've played. And trust me when I say that I've played a lot of versions of this game. I mean, some of you might remember that a while ago, in my worst Atari games list, I did include the Atari port of BurgerTime, which, even by Atari standards, is pretty bad. I mean, it's not like Donkey Kong, which is believed to have been intentionally sabotaged. Let's see. Get on here! You stun, you suckers! Yeah, I played a lot of versions of this game, so I'm inclined to say which one's probably... I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, this one's excellent. Another good version is the Intellivision version, which is easily one of the best. One of the best features, pressing A to spray pepper at your enemies. Though it only works a couple of times before you get a game over, before you run out of pepper. Then, in some areas, you're kind of screwed. Whoa, it's one way to... Whoa. So all I need to do is get 2 enemies on there, and then I can send the whole thing down? Nice! Let's see if I can... So yeah, BurgerTime. A great arcade game originally released by Data... Yeah, I was going to say Data H, not Data H. Data East in arcades. And it's found its way to, I guess, pretty much every single almost every home console at one point. I mean, it's made it to the Atari 2600, the Intellivision, the ColecoVision, the NES. I mean, there's a sequel for the Game Boy. Okay, let's see. In fact, there's actually 2 versions, and the Wii actually has 2 versions. Go on here, lag. Yeah, the Wii version actually has 2 versions of BurgerTime. It has the NES version on Virtual Console, and it has the original, and also as part of the Data East arcade collection, has the arcade version on it. And while the arcade version is one of the best ones, this one's not too far behind it. So, and in this game, surprisingly, it hasn't had, unlike many other arcade games from the 80s, it hasn't had too many home ports actually, just a few. Or at least not too many sequels. I mean, the arcades had one sequel, Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's actually quite fun, actually. You know, this is the best I've ever done in BurgerTime. Let's see. Oh! Spoke too soon. Yeah, don't let those guys touch you, otherwise you're toast. Now let's see, what other sequels did BurgerTime have? In the arcade, the only I can think of is, yeah, Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory, which is in the Data East arcade collection. The, oh no, out of pepper and less than a second to this current life, and I'm cornered. This game's mean. Then again, it is an 80s arcade game. Yeah, its sequel, unfortunately, has not received many home ports. But as I mentioned earlier, I think it is part of the Data East arcade collection, which, if you have a Wii, I highly recommend. I mean, there's a whole bunch of goodies on there, such as the arcade version of, such as a game I probably will be covering at one point that's called Caveman Ninja on there, but older gamers will probably know it as Joe and Mac. Anyway, back to this version of BurgerTime. Yeah, the graphics, I mean, of all the home ports at the time, well, compared to, oh, son of a, oh, stupid egg! I don't know what Egg's doing at a burger place, but whatever. Can't think of it. What's a hot dog doing there? Okay, pickles make sense. Ugh. Well, the egg makes sense if you're getting an Egg McMuffin at McDonald's or something. And the hot dog. Okay, I'll try again. Let's see, what other sequels did BurgerTime have? Yeah, as I mentioned, there's one for the Game Boy, which is available on the 3DS Virtual Console. And there was a 3D, I guess it's a sort of sequel at the same time, sort of a remake at the same time, I guess. That was released for the WiiWare, Xbox Live Arcade, and I think the PSN as well. Which the whole thing was, which is basically a 3D version of BurgerTime. I mean, in terms of reviews, it mostly got slammed, but I actually find it pretty decent. I mean, it's not this game by any means, but it's good. But it's decent. But it's probably the reason why it's only released on those as a downloadable title. Let's see. Get on the get on the hot dog. Get on, you stupid hot dog. Let's see. How many hot dogs can I kill? Die! You evil hot dogs. Or they might be sausages. They're not sure. Well, sausages would make more sense actually. But still, the egg is out of place. Yeah, this game has really good level design, which is pretty much the same in all versions of BurgerTime. Yeah, the crux of the game is pretty straightforward. Yeah, you're a chef named Peter Pepper who's, I guess, who owns this burger place, and I guess the ingredients for his burgers came to life and are trying to kill him. So he has to fend for himself and get away from and continue making his burgers while avoiding them and trying to kill as many of them as he can, I guess. Yeah, 80s arcade. Yeah, older games really didn't have much in terms of story. And for ones that did have a story, they're mostly an afterthought. I mean, you'll give us a lot of old games. Arcade games, especially. Platformers. Heck, you still give that in platformers today. Oh, I'm dead. And even in really old RPGs, really the story was not that important. if you can believe, if you can wrap your head around the idea that the earliest RPGs, the story was not much of a focus. Not like today when the genre practically is story driven. Anyway, back to BurgerTime. Yeah, and of course the sequel. Peter Pepper, for some reason, decides to open an ice cream factory, in which the ingredients there are also trying to kill him. Maybe Peter should try and find a different profession. One where the ingredients don't try to kill him. Die! Unless he likes the... Oh, come on! Unless he just likes the thrill of being in a job where he can die? If so, he's insane. And I mean really insane. And I'll definitely get to Peter Pepper at one point. It's a vacuum factory at one point. As well as some of the other goodies in the Data East arcade collection. Now, there's a company that actually releases their older arcade games, which unfortunately a lot more companies aren't doing, which I find really sad, as there's a lot of companies that have a lot of great arcade games. That are pretty much lost forever because of the fact that, well, outside of emulation, they're pretty much lost forever. Sure, a lot of arcade games had home ports, but some had very few, like, for example, Berserk. A great game with only 3 home ports. And it's impossible to play on any modern console. Outside of an indie game for the Xbox 360. Which is, for lack of a better word, a remake. Of that game. Let's see. Oh, got him. Yeah, what was the I lost my train of thought? Oh, L. Yeah, for arcade games. Yeah, it's a shame that more companies don't do what Data East did with this. By releasing one of their classic games. I mean, I play a lot. Oh yeah, let's talk about Berserk. Both it and its sequel are unfortunately, they are not available on any modern console. This is a real shame, as it's easily one of the most important top-down shooters, and it's one of the first games of voice acting. But that's during another time. I mean, it's not like, say, Donkey Kong, BurgerTime. I think Qbert. And let's see. Which are arcade classics? Double Dragon. Which have received numerous home ports. Oh yeah. And Bubble Bobble and its sequel, Rainbow Island. Or one of its sequels, anyway. Yeah, that cannot be played in any modern console. Yeah. Though that game's been released multiple times. Sometimes those games haven't been released multiple times on the same console. Now, if any of the, say, major say, major employees at any publishing company for these games. If you're watching this, take this recommendation. If you can release your older games on any form, whether it's via compilations, releasing them on PC through Steam, or hell, through GOG as well, as they're mostly for older games and really old games, abandonware games, things like that. That I'd recommend doing. Or releasing them for a service like the Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, any of Nintendo's virtual console services. I mean, heck, up until the virtual console, there were a ton of games that were practically lost. Which for a lot of games in the history of gaming is a shame. I mean, yeah, a lot of companies don't see. Yeah, a lot of companies do this. Not just with, say, arcade games, but with older console games as well. I mean, if you go through a list of 90% of all the games ever released for a console, chances are that at least 80, if not 90% of those games can no longer be purchased directly from the publishers. And many of those games have not been manufactured in decades. Of course, for some of them, being never being re-released again is a good thing. I mean, I can't imagine some of the real disasters on the NES being re-released. Let's see. Just running away from these hot dog thingies. Yeah, getting some. Let's see if I can get some more. Ah, damn it! Okay, I'll probably throw one more round of this. This game. Yeah, sorry, I went a little rant there. I'll often do that in these gaming commentary videos. While my commentary will be on some of my commentary will be on the game itself, I will often go on tangents on other subjects. Probably one of the most common would be asking companies to please re-release a lot of their older games. Well, at least Disney's being smart about. At least this year, Disney got smart about that with releasing the classic LucasArts game Grim Fandango, which they're re-releasing later this year. And while they're at it, why doesn't Disney go through the rest of LucasArts archives? There's a whole lot of games that I'd like to that LucasArts made over the years that should be re-released onto modern platforms, especially some of the older PC games. I mean, one I'd definitely like to see on modern platforms, which I don't know if it has or not, is Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. One of the best shooters I've ever played. Oh, damn it. Ugh. Oh, foul. Oh, fail. Now, it's definitely a good thing that this game is still around, as in you can get on a modern platform. I mean, if you haven't played this game, it's not a little nasty, but what the hell are you waiting for? Go find this game wherever you can. If you have, say, an NES or Atari, a television, try to find a version for those consoles. And for a case of the NES version of this game, try and find a version that works. Yeah, the NES games, that's probably where you'll run into the biggest issue of games not working. Mostly because I'm sure a lot of cartridges for NES fell victim to the whole blowing on the cartridge things to get them work, which actually caused more. Which it was actually what caused more damage to the cartridges, which is actually a result of the front-loading design for the NES. That's why if you're a retro gamer like I am and you want to play an NES, get a top-loading model, please. It'll help save your cartridges. Not to mention, literally almost every other cartridge-based console is a top loader, with the exception of the side loading in television. Die! Now here, you little red sausage hot dog thingies. Oh wait, it's red, so it probably is a hot dog. Okay, the engine will go down several levels. Nice! Well, this game is a blast to play. So yeah, you can get this game on. For other consoles, you can get this on. You can also get it on the Wii, as mentioned earlier, in 2 different forms. Oh, damn it! Yeah, you can get it. You either get the NES version for the Wii Virtual Console, or you can get the Data East Arcade Collection, which is kind of a challenge to find. I mean, I looked through GameStops throughout the. I mean, I was looking at multiple GameStops for years trying to find that game. I wasn't doing, and I was eventually able to find it on Amazon. So yeah, if you can't find a game out in the wild while you're hunting down used game stores or GameStop things like that, go on the internet with either Amazon or eBay. First, see if Amazon would have them. And they actually have a pretty impressive collection of people selling older games. Hell, pretty much all my Atari games came from there. As well as a couple NES ones. And really a lot of games, period. Good, I still have enough pepper so I can kill you, you little. I'm not gonna say anything. So yeah, if you can get the Data East Arcade Collection, get that one. But if you just want BurgerTime by itself, without the sequel or many of the other classics that Data Age made, not Data Age, Data East made, get that collection if you can. Yeah, want BurgerTime by itself, get the NES version on the Wii Virtual Console. Or if you just have a 3DS, get the sequel. It's on there. Now I'm surprised why. Now looking at the virtual consoles, I want to know why Nintendo waited so long to release them their games. I mean, I don't get why Nintendo waited until the time of the Wii U to re-release Earthbound. To release Earthbound on their virtual console, when the Wii had already been around for 6 years by the time the Wii U came out. It seemed almost like an attempt to sell more units by putting Earthbound on it. Though I'm sure a lot of people have figured out. Though I don't know if that worked too well because if you find the actual cartridge of Earthbound, it's a couple $100. But it can't be terribly rare though, because I've seen a couple cartridges. I've seen a couple Earthbound carts. I guess it has something to do with how popular a game is. And of course, they have that kind of nasty thing at E3 when they're basically mocking the ones who want one of the sequels to come out in the U.S. A sequel, which, by the way, already has a fan translation. So, I mean, if there's not demand for a game, please sell the damn thing in North America. Then again, this is the same company that took years to release their strategy RPGs in the U.S., so who knows? Yeah, when they should have seen the writing on the wall with Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, I know it sounds like an ambassador of Nintendo, which I'm not. I love the company and their games. Though some of their decisions, I'd say, have been pretty damn stupid. So the Virtual Console basically helping to help save a lot of these older games. That is definitely something I approve of. No, one life left. Okay, I think this video is almost over. Yep! Oh! That was BurgerTime for the NES. If you like this video, please like and subscribe if you want. And well, until next time, everyone, I'll have another game ready for you guys.